So why not? Let's do this again. I don't know how many of you remember, but around January of 2016, we did a Brad Tries Zima episode in which I found a 20-plus-year-old Zima that was a bit rusted, a bit yellowed, and because there was a camera sitting in front of me, clearly that meant that I had to chug it. Now that was recorded on Dave's birthday, so I guess that was me, like, pre-gaming it, because we all got kind of drunk that night. And man, chugging that yellow, rusted Zima, let's just say I'm still hungover a little bit. I actually got quite a bit sick off of that. And it kind of makes sense that I'm doing another Zima episode right now, because while that other one was sort of pre-gaming it, I actually am a little hungover right now, but it's not from the Zima a year and a half ago. We were all at a wedding last weekend, so I think some of us are kind of feeling it a couple of days later. But anyway, so the 12th of June came around, which meant Zima Day, back for a limited time, which I found out about not too long after I did the original Zima video, where I chugged that yellow thing, got really sick, and then I found out, hey, did you know fresh Zima's coming back? Like, oh, now you tell me. Not that it would have mattered. I still would have done an episode on old ass Zima. I actually went back and watched the Zima episode that I did just to make sure I don't really repeat myself on here, because it is essentially doing the same thing twice, except I won. I'm most likely not going to chug this, and it's the rust isn't going to make me sick, because I don't think there's any rust in here. There better not be. We went out to a liquor store yesterday, the day that Zima came back to look for it. We ended up asking the guy there, hey, do you have any, did Zima come in? And he was like, that's been the question of the last couple of weeks. He's like, we don't have it today, but we're getting it in a couple of days. Right now, Hy-Vee has it. So he drove over to Hy-Vee. So God bless Hy-Vee on keeping it up on making sure fresh Zima is in stock on the day it should be in stock, so people can relive their disappointment. This was a drink that, I mean, I was well into my 20s when this was discontinued, so it was a drink that I had before. The memory isn't, honestly, even though I had, the last time I had Zima, other than the drinking the old one, I would have been in my mid-20s, but my memory of the taste of it wasn't great. My memory of the taste of Crystal Pepsi was way better than Zima, because anytime I would have had Zima back when it was originally out, I mentioned this in the other video, it would have been like when it was past 3 o'clock, when we're just kind of drinking stuff that's just there. So, sure, I remember it being sugary and passable. I mean, it's marketed in a way that makes you think that it's gonna be just like soda booze. In a way, it kind of is. Alright, I dawdled on the old Zima video. I rambled a bit before actually tasting it. So let's get this out of the way. It still smells like that clear malt. It still tastes like something I would have had after 3 in the morning, after a huge night of drinking. Here's the thing about Zima. As far as the taste goes, what you picture in your head isn't exactly what you're going to get from most people that I've talked to. Since they brought it back yesterday, I saw a couple of people have it for the first time, and what they were picturing in their head was honestly, yeah, more like a straight-up citrusy soda, but with alcohol. And it is citrus. It is certainly carbonated, but it tastes like a combination of just a malt beer and sugar, and a lot of sugar. I think that there's a whole thing about you putting sweet tarts in Zima. A thing that I remember actually being pretty good, and I wonder if that's what it's... In Japan, you can actually get a lot of different flavors of Zima. I wonder if that's what inspired that a little bit, or vice versa. That actually does make it better when you put some fruity candy in here. Like, I'm not even a sweet tart guy, but you add sweet tarts to Zima, it does kind of bump up the taste a little bit, because that's what Zima needs. It needs more fucking sugar. But but another thing I noticed too, and it's my case as well, that because Zima is so sugary and sweet, you get used to it the more that you drink it. Like it's not bad. It was never my go-to thing. It's appealing. Like I'll say that Zima is. I can understand the marketing behind it. I can understand why it was a pretty big fad drink back in the day. But it was never my go-to thing. But like a Smirnoff and like other things akin to Zima, you can get through it pretty easily because of the sugar. But because of the sugar, because of the sugar, you'll have a hell of a hangover. If you get drunk off of a bunch of these, you'll have a hell of a hangover from this. But that kind of made a difference to me back in the day. Like the more sugary alcohol you had, the worse hangovers you would get. Anymore, I'm 35. It doesn't really matter what I get drunk off of. I'm going to be fucking hungover the next day. It doesn't matter if it's off of Zima or beer or vodka or whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm going to be in bed for a very long time the next day. I'm going to be in bed till probably around 6 p.m. And the difference, and for me anyway, the difference between a not so bad hangover and a terrible hangover is the difference between getting up at 4 p.m. or 7 p.m. There's going to be a lot of tossing and turning. They'll be getting sick. They'll be, taking care. The headaches I can take care of really easily. With me, it's the stomach. It's the nauseousness. It's getting all that bile out. It's a terrible sight. It is a terrible, terrible fucking sight. It is the flop sweats, the show. Oh my God. You pay for it the next day, man. You pay for it the next day, like super hardcore. So, the sugary taste of a Zima doesn't bother me too much in terms of how my hangover is going to be the next day. But you know what? Like, it's cool that it's back, because there's a lot of people who they weren't of age when the drink was discontinued. I mean, like Crystal Pepsi, it's fun that it's back. Crystal Pepsi was a drink I always liked a lot better than Zima, but Zima's fine. It's totally drinkable. It's a casual drink, honestly. It serves its purpose as that, and it's 90s as fuck, man. it is fucking 90s as hell. Even though it wasn't my go-to drink, I'm not that cynical guy that you see a lot. The type who are like, I don't understand why this is coming back. I hate the fact that this is coming back. You're always just gonna drink it and it's just gonna move on. Why is this back? Like, ugh. Man, just chill. No one's forcing you to drink it. It's like, no one's forcing you to drink it. Just don't buy it. If you didn't like it back in the day, fine. Just don't fucking buy it. Let people who have never had it before try it. They might like it. Just because you didn't like it, just because you didn't enjoy it, and just because you're bitter and cynical, doesn't mean no one else can appreciate the fact that it's coming back. A lot of people really like this drink. So for people who really liked it, I'm happy for them. I'm happy for them that this is back. And yeah, it's nice having a bottle of this, that's not yellow and rusted like that old ancient ass one that I had. So for people who want to try it for the first time, go ahead. You might be a little, I don't know if you'll be blown away by this drink, because there's a lot of drinks out there now that are like this, and maybe do it a little bit better, but now you know. Now you know what it tastes like, and get yourself some sweet tarts and put in here. Okay, so, alright, fine. That goes down much better when it's not old and rusted. Sugar. Give me sugar. See ya.